Do you find it difficult to rely on God, even if it means carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Today, we'll explore why it's so important to follow God's call to rely on Him and not our own goodness or strength. Let's begin. Ezekiel 34, verses 11 through 16 offers a striking picture of reliance on God. The passage describes how God Himself rescues, heals, and feeds all the sheep, except for the fat and strong. Those who recognize their need for healing, food, and rescue will receive it. But those who see themselves as strong, who believe they can sustain themselves without a shepherd, remain subject to the natural consequences of living without a rescuer. If you acknowledge your need for God's grace, provision, and love, you will receive it. You have nothing to fear. But if you insist on managing life on your own, denying your need for help, God will honor that choice. He will never force Himself upon you. Yet the moment you turn to Him, even in the smallest, most fragile way, He is faithful. A mustard seed of faith, a smoldering wick. These are more precious to God than the strongest and most righteous person who refuses Him. It is not about how much faith you have. It is about where you place that faith. If your faith is in your own strength to conquer life's challenges, then you will bear that burden alone. If your faith is in your own goodness, then justice will be your judge, and you may find that, despite being good by earthly standards, your goodness fails when measured against perfect love. But even the tiniest faith, when placed in God's love and power, is enough. He takes on the responsibility. He carries the weight, and you are made like Him, perfect and loving in every way. Jesus speaks to this in Mark 11, verses 20 through 24, where He declares that even a mustard seed of faith can move mountains. The power of faith lies not in its size, but in its source. This is not about God's wrath. It's about a spiritual law, one even non-believers can recognize. We reap what we sow unless we entrust our lives to God. If we insist on striving, on proving ourselves strong and capable, we remain bound to the natural laws of this world. But Christ broke those laws. He sowed Himself into the earth, becoming the tree of life for all who would simply believe and eat of its fruit. Through Him, we receive miraculous and eternal life, not by effort, but as a gift. No longer bound by the natural order, we are free. Just as mountains can be cast into the sea, so too can anything be moved by the God of miracles. He is not subject to time, space, gravity, or matter. Yet there is one thing He will always submit to: your choice. He will never force His provision upon you. He will always love you enough to let you choose between His care and your own efforts, between His strength and your striving, between His life and self-reliance. I see this in myself when I'm determined to push through in my own strength, so that I no longer need to take the risk of faith that God will get me through. But the more I insist on managing life alone, the more afraid I feel. God waits, ready to provide the peace and provision I need, but only when I finally let go. Are you willing to let go? What's something you've been holding on to? What would it look like to trust God with it today? Feel free to share a comment or prayer request, and let's walk this journey together.